In the heart of Kruger National Park, life follows ancient and unforgiving rules. Survival here is not optional, it is a demand imposed by nature itself. Creatures that move in packs travel as a single force, unified, disciplined, and fierce. Their bond serves as both shield and weapon. Every synchronized stride, every shared glance, broadcasts a clear message across the savannah: they stand together. This collective strength commands respect, yet it also instills fear in those watching from afar. For predators, a pack represents danger. For prey, it forms a living barrier capable of withstanding even the most ruthless hunters. Within Kruger, the pride of belonging to a group can determine whether an animal lives or dies. Yet this same confidence invites inevitable challenges. Where power exists, confrontation follows. Where unity forms, conflict emerges. Beneath the relentless sun and amid the tall grass, every encounter becomes a trial, and any clash can erupt into war without warning. Which wild animal would prevail in a battle between wild dogs and hyenas? The dry season brings waves of hot air sweeping across the savannah of Kruger National Park from the moment the sun rises. After an exhausting night searching for food, many animals have already surrendered to rest. Others, however, are just beginning their morning journey to satisfy a hunger that never relents. The African wild dog has already secured its first meal of the day without fanfare or intimidating sounds, only flawless organization. They could be compared to a wilderness troop guided by absolute discipline. Watching them eat reveals a familial harmony: no fights, no chaos. Glances alone suffice for communication. This silent empathy becomes the supreme law, a serene order in an environment dominated by fangs and claws. Yet opportunists drawn to the feast are never far behind. The atmosphere grows tense like guitar strings about to snap. Does the African wild dog retreat out of fear? No. It is prudence. Every member of the pack is invaluable. Risking a life for a single meal is not in their nature. In fact, this species obtains food more efficiently than any other predator on the savanna. Meanwhile, deep inside an ancient den, exhaustion from hunger has weakened a tired mother. Her fatigue is unmistakable. The pups seem like bottomless pits. Biologically speaking, they belong to what scientists call obligate cooperative breeders. The African wild dog is in many ways the African equivalent of the gray wolf. Here, no one is abandoned. Only the alpha pair reproduces, but raising the young is a shared responsibility. A pack may gather around 40 members with 10 to 15 adults among them. It is a balanced number, enough to provide collective protection without scarcity breaking the bonds that hold the group together. Hope returns with the hunters. Unlike lions, where the dominant male eats first, adult wild dogs participate in an ancestral act, regurgitation. They bring back food, delivering the most nutritious portions directly from their own stomachs to those who stayed behind. A bond stronger than any individual force reveals itself in that gesture. Against the shadows moving across the savanna, survival becomes a collective equation. Standing ahead is the buffalo, a colossus capable of crushing any adversary with a single charge. To confront it, the pack needs more than strength, they require total agreement. Everything begins with a signal, a kind of primitive assembly. Pay attention. Do you notice that just before and during these encounters, African wild dogs begin sneezing repeatedly? This is no coincidence. Each sneeze functions as a vote, a collective biological decision. When enough votes are cast, the hunt begins. If not, the pack chooses to stay and conserve energy. A surprising form of consensus in the heart of the wild. A behavior so unusual it left many scientists astonished. But today the target changes. The group turns its attention to different prey. The wildebeest presents a far lesser challenge than the buffalo. Besides, a pack whose members weigh around 30 kilograms does not need a large quantity of meat to survive. do not expect an explosive burst of speed like the cheetahs. Here, another strategy dominates endurance. Now it becomes clear why the African wild dog achieves hunting success rates of up to 80%. Perhaps nature did not grant them imposing bodies, but it gave them something even more powerful: unity. On this savanna pack, cohesion serves as the ultimate armor, and they know their greatest advantage perfectly well. To deploy it, they need suitable weather conditions that allow them to sustain long, exhausting chases. Life reawakens under the last rays of the sun, while the pups continue sleeping deep inside the den. The caretakers, however, already feel the emptiness in their stomachs. The digestive system of the African wild dog is remarkably fast, ideal for a strategy of striking, retreating, and advancing again. The digestive process completes within 6 to 10 hours. Unlike the spotted hyena, they do not crush large bones, which keeps their stomachs light and efficient. Eating quickly reduces the risk of other predators stealing the kill and allows them to return soon with food for the pups. Today's target is one that always lives under the savanna's constant surveillance: the warthog. Do not underestimate it. The warthog is a formidable fighter armed with sharp tusks. Its system of deep burrows functions as a genuine fortress where every entrance becomes terrain riddled with deadly traps. Tension spreads through the air. Suddenly, the chase erupts amid swirling dust. The mother warthog knows well the African wild dog is not a predator that gives up easily. Once it locks onto a target, it does not stop until it catches it. At least the warthog piglets have the protection of several adults and do not depend on a single mother alone. The warthog barely reaches 50 kilometers per hour. For the African wild dog, that speed poses no obstacle. When one individual falls, what is saved is an entire family. This is how the ruthless beauty of the savanna manifests itself without disguises or concessions. The African wild dog does not specialize in a single prey. It is an adaptable hunter, always alert to opportunities, though it rarely resorts to theft like the hyena. This drive runs through the blood of every pack member, even the youngest. Did you know that each African wild dog possesses a unique body pattern? These markings appear from birth and allow pack members to identify one another from a distance during the hunt. Guided by the alpha pair, they advance through dense brush. Concentration is absolute. The target now is the impala. Observe it closely, a true masterpiece of agility. It can leap up to 3 meters high, cover 10 meters in a single bound, and execute the characteristic pronking, a proud display of strength and vitality. But here it is not about explosive speed, it is about endurance. The real test begins. This is the prey that has earned the African wild dog the title of marathon runner of the savannah. Exhaustion reaches its limit. The African wild dog is not like the lion, which often prefers to surrender to inertia beside the river. When it chooses you, the chances of escape fall below 20%. The power of the pack is so overwhelming that even the king of the savannah thinks twice, the most skilled solitary hunter, perhaps. But facing 20 individuals coordinated with absolute discipline, the king chooses not to intervene. In this territory, individual strength dissolves before the power of unity. Remember the buffalo that the African wild dog left behind at the beginning of this story. During the dry season, these giants never stop moving in search of water, a constant movement that inevitably attracts the attention of predators. But the buffalo is a primitive force so powerful that even the lion sometimes decides not to confront it. This is the territory of Colossi, the absolute opposite of the light, disciplined army. Nearly a ton of pure muscle and a fury that knows no surrender. Under normal conditions, it remains an unattainable prey. Yet upon closer observation, an uncomfortable truth emerges: not all individuals in the herd are adults. Each African wild dog needs only between 2.5 and 5 kilograms of meat per day to survive. In that context, a calf represents far more than what is necessary. The confrontation ended sooner than expected. Perhaps the buffalo was weakened, consumed by days of relentless heat and constant thirst. The mother's hesitation is evident, as is her desperation. But that surrender was paradoxically her only option for staying alive, even if survival meant accepting the inevitable loss of her calf. Because of it, by it, and for it, everything revolves in this merciless circle of the savannah. Unlike the nearly democratic system of the African wild dog, you are now about to cross the threshold into a realm of shadows and absolute authority, the spotted hyena. Do not reduce it to the simple role of scavenger. What exists here is an inflexible hierarchy, cold and perfectly structured. A clan governed by merciless discipline and the total dominance of females. The biological reality that unfolds is astonishing. They are larger, more aggressive, and possess testosterone levels even higher than those of males. In this world, male dignity has no place. Even the lowest-ranking female stands above the strongest male. Males do not truly belong to the clan. They are temporary immigrants who must endure a life of constant trials just to be tolerated. Head lowered, submissive gestures, permanent resignation. That is the price of remaining close to the true sovereigns of the savannah. Unlike the subtle strategy of African wild dogs, the hyena has chosen a direct and brutal path to ensure its survival. Here there is no clean bite to the neck like that of the lion or leopard. Watch how they attack, rapid strikes from every angle. Legs, haunches, any vulnerable point will do. The goal is not to kill immediately, but to bleed the prey until exhaustion overcomes it, even before it understands that the end is inevitable. And to demonstrate their power, many forces of the savannah converge on the same target, the Cape buffalo. Just like African wild dogs, hyenas fix their attention on defenseless calves. Once again, a mother loses the most precious thing she has. The merciless dry season breaks the cohesion of the herd, and hyenas know how to exploit it. The smell of blood spreads and summons the scavengers. From above, the lappet-faced vulture watches patiently, but the hyena is not willing to share. It can digest everything bone skin remains, exactly like the vulture. In the end, only tiny fragments remain, which ants proceed to erase completely. Nature in silence crosses another name off the race for life. What you have before you is one of the most efficient survival machines evolution has ever created. The path of the spotted hyena begins within its own body. Its interior houses a true biological forge with extraordinarily high levels of stomach acid. Thanks to this, it can digest what would make almost any other animal recoil. Compact bones, horns, hooves. But before reaching the stomach, its primary weapon comes into play, an enormous bite that can reach up to 7,500 newtons of pressure. Yet even this survival machine carries a hidden cost. Dominant females possess a unique anatomy. A genital organ known as a pseudopenis, which is actually an elongation of the clitoris. This characteristic turns giving birth into an extreme ordeal. Cubs must pass through a long, narrow canal which dramatically raises mortality among first-time mothers. It is the price of absolute power. Female dominance within the clan demands severe sacrifices, and among females the struggle never stops. Here, authority is not born from collective agreement but from total submission. In the kingdom of the spotted hyena, the queen rules with firmness and severity. The boundary between leadership and tyranny is fragile. When oppression crosses that line, the clan responds in only one way: together. Against collective force, even the queen can become just another prey. But whoever manages to seize the crown will see her true instinct for domination emerge. Do you expect to find fairness in the distribution of food as happens among African wild dogs? Not here. The dominant female eats first, then her cubs, and the rest learn to wait. Tyranny imposes harsh rules to ensure the continuity of the next generation. This is how the throne is maintained over time. Even so, Tragedy lurks in the darkness of the dens. There is no male protection, no shared caregiving. The mother remains alone, hunter and guardian at the same time. Her absence opens the door to chaos. Cruel, painful, but inevitable. It is natural selection in its most ruthless form. The pain is left behind when the sun begins to descend. The golden hour of the hunt arrives, but today that mother has made a different decision to claim the efforts of others. And on the savannah, the most exposed prey carries an inevitable name, the cheetah. The gaze becomes rigid, concentration absolute. The body flattens against the ground, shoulders brush the earth, the head holds steady while the back arches. Everything is ready for detonation. A golden flash crosses the plain at a speed impossible to follow with the eye. Capturing prey is not the problem. Keeping it, that is a matter of life and death. The great sprinter retreats. Speed comes at a high cost, lightweight bones, non-retractable claws for gaining traction. Too fragile against jaws designed to crush bones. Here, even a minor wound can be a death sentence. And that sentence does not reach only adults. It also hangs over the cubs. Another mother watches from a distance, satisfied, almost mocking the fear of others. But the savannah is made of ironies. From the shadows emerges a dominant silhouette. The king does not need to roar. The message is clear. The one who stole is now the prey. Absolute power imposes its law upon everyone. Even so, the spotted hyena is not a creature that surrenders easily. Nearly 90% of its food comes from its own hunting. But when it decides to act as a raider, no force can stop it against solitary predators. The savannah watches in silence. Here no one is safe for long. Can you guess its name? The leopard, lord of the heights. Even when the trees no longer offer shade, it prefers to observe from above, patient and invisible. Its metabolism is slow. It does not need to confront enormous prey. The impala before it is more than enough. It only needs to avoid the sharp horns. But that calculation shatters the instant a wild cackle cuts through the air like a declaration of war. Now the real hunt begins. And this is no fragile cheetah. This is an elite fighter. Dense muscles, retractable claws, always ready for combat and climbing. In its territory, it also rules. And a king does not tolerate humiliation. A single moment of distraction proves fatal for the hyena. The raider watches helplessly from the base of the tree. Its body is built for endless pursuits across the ground, not for climbing. Losing a kill is bad enough. Losing it twice is an unacceptable affront to the queens of darkness. Honor must be restored, and the next target will be sufficient to achieve it. A queen can only measure herself against true kings. As the dry season devours everything in its path, the hyena is fully aware of how many lions are struggling to survive. For lionesses, hunting under these conditions becomes an almost impossible task. And that is where the cunning of the hyena reveals itself. Without the presence of the dominant male, the balance tips entirely in favor of the nocturnal raiders. It is no coincidence that during the dry season, the hunting success rate of lionesses falls below 25%. That single episode is enough to restore lost honor. The queen of the night has defeated the queen of the savannah. Today, this will be the event everyone talks about. The savannah observes these thefts with absolute indifference. Each dry season brings new confrontations. But one of the cruelest and most dramatic chapters of this natural chronicle belongs to those who adapt best to hunger. Numerous armies driven by necessity formed in record time. Spotted hyenas always on the prowl. African wild dogs in constant vigilance. Nature granted them opposing weapons for an inevitable clash. The hyena with a jaw capable of pulverizing bones and devastating individual strength. The African wild dog with the strategy of unity and coordinated bursts of speed. And sometimes neither is truly prepared for the trial this merciless world imposes upon them. Hunger leads this mother to the feast of what may be the most powerful army on the savannah. But this time the calculation fails. The dry season suffocates everything. There is no longer room for concessions. The deadly circle closes. The spotted hyena weighs twice as much, but the cohesion of the pack is invincible. The hyena's reaction proves too slow against the unpredictable agility of its rival. Then the arbiter enters the scene. No one understands why the lion would intervene in favor of its greatest enemy. Only nature knows the answers to these wild enigmas. The mother manages to escape, but she returns carrying something worse than wounds the shame of the clan. The most aggressive members do not forget the affront. This time, the army of light skirmishers faces a battalion of heavy mercenaries. The brutality of plunder collides with absolute discipline. The African wild dog moves as a single entity, and therein lies the true secret of collective battles. Why does the smaller prevail over the giant? The answer lies in strategy encirclement from multiple fronts and attacks in rotation. Science explains it clearly. A constant rhythm of charges drives the hyena to exhaustion through overheating. A powerful heart inside a heavy body ends up becoming a burden, two sides of the same coin of survival. No creature is free from weaknesses, not even the African wild dog. And now the end of the dry season approaches. With it, the ideal setting for many battles begins to fade. The revenge of the spotted hyena must come sooner. She knows the pack of African wild dogs will not fall to hunger. They hunt better than any other predator on the savannah, but not everyone shares that advantage. For the leopard, the dry season has made the art of ambush even more difficult. Hunger pushes it dangerously close to the food sources of the African wild dogs. There were no deaths, but one of the unfortunate wild dogs suffered an injury to its leg on the savannah that amounts to a death sentence. Nothing remains hidden for long. The hyena heard the news, and she will not forget the face of the unfortunate one. If not for the presence of the entire pack, its fate would already be sealed. The hyena savors the pain of others. That is her cruelest revenge, not theft. Every individual is an essential piece. And now one of the gears has broken. While the others search for food, perhaps the hyena will leave behind a bone. A gesture of farewell, or a mockery directed at those who dared to challenge the nightmare of the savannah. The war between the African wild dog and the hyena is not merely a conflict of strength. It is a constant battle against shared hunger. Everything unfolds under the watchful gaze of the lion, the only undisputed sovereign of the savannah. But even a king's life is far from simple. When dawn brings a new day, the weight of dominion falls once again upon his shoulders. He is no longer young, nor does he stand at the peak of his splendor. He does not fight out of impulse or personal hunger. He fights for lineage, for territory, for legacy. Calm is never permanent. The guardian must face a constant threat, ambitious young males. Around 3 years of age, males are expelled from their own pride and condemned to wander in search of a kingdom of their own. Along the way, they form coalitions. Now they return as confident invaders, driven by the strength of youth and an arrogance that often surpasses experience. Ruling demands clear rules. Unlike the world of hyenas, where leadership can change without the system collapsing among lions, the fall of the dominant male is usually an irreversible sentence. When the king falls, the entire kingdom crumbles. And when a new coalition takes control, one of the cruelest chapters of the savannah begins. The new males eliminate any trace of the previous regime. Without a father to defend them and with a mother unable to oppose brute force, the cubs become victims. From a biological standpoint, infanticide serves a ruthless but effective function without nursing. the lioness enters estrus more quickly. Thus, the victors can begin imposing their own genetic legacy. The lioness does not possess the dominant strength of the male, but she possesses extraordinary intelligence. To avoid conflicts within the coalition over breeding rights, she adopts a surprising strategy. She becomes insatiable. She may demand up to 300 copulations in just 3 days. By mating with all the dominant males, she creates deliberate confusion about paternity. When the cubs are born, each male believes he is the father, and together they protect the family. The cycle repeats with almost perfect precision. Every sacrifice is a note within an ancient symphony, where balance is maintained under unbreakable laws. After the ghosts of the old empire, a new dawn rises. The lioness's warriors, reborn from the ashes, must carry on. They are tireless hunters responsible for sustaining an entire kingdom. Their bodies are genuine living weapons. Without a heavy mane, they dissipate heat efficiently, and their coats blend perfectly among the dry grasses. Why the zebra? Because it offers exceptional levels of protein and fat, enough energy to sustain the pride for days. But the risk is enormous. A single kick from its legs can shatter the jaw of any predator. Silence breaks with an explosion of force. Collective weight overwhelms the striped giant. The hunt concludes. Sacred order is restored. The male eats first. It is not privilege, it is biological necessity. He must receive the greatest energy load to preserve the strength that makes him the most solid wall against hyenas and invaders. The savannah falls silent after the storm. The rhythm of renewal begins. You stand before the moment when life emerges from darkness. The lioness guardian of hope. Cubs barely a week old. This is the most fragile moment of all. The strategy is now clear. Change dens every 3 or 4 days. Erase any trace of scent. All to prevent death in the form of the spotted hyena from finding the hiding place. At 3 weeks, the first milk teeth begin to appear. Mobility increases. And so do the dangers. Responsibility weighs upon both parents. Sometimes the lion must go out to hunt while the lioness still recovers from giving birth. And so the cycle continues, cruel, perfect, eternal. Many see the lion as an authoritarian and vain figure. But from another perspective, he is a true pillar sustaining the balance of the kingdom. At 6 weeks of age, the cubs officially enter the nursery of the savannah. This marks the beginning of allo-suckling, an extraordinary social behavior based on an almost sacred form of cooperation. Milk is shared and alliances are strengthened even among cubs who are only distantly related. After days hidden from the outside world, the young finally meet their father, the presence before which the entire savannah bows. But this territory is not merely a refuge. It is a relentless school where the hunter's instinct is forged. Here, every mistake transforms into learning. Every clumsy leap is another step toward the throne. Observing these small lives, the design of the Creator becomes evident. The mother was granted the endurance needed to protect the offspring, the bond that will make dominion possible. From choosing the hiding place to the act of sharing milk, every gesture answers to an ancient and immutable law. The wild savannah is governed by a harsh rule: survive between domination and submission. This is how this world without concessions operates. If you ever find absolute calm in some corner of this primitive fortress, there is only one possible explanation: life has already been extinguished there. Because every being that still breathes leaves its survival instinct engraved upon every inch of this land. When the dust finally settles in Kruger, the scars of battle remain visible. The packs continue moving forward, standing tall, carrying not only their strength, but also the weight of every confrontation overcome. Here, pride is not born from violence, but from resilience, from the ability to remain united against the constant chaos of wildlife. The fear these creatures inspire is not without reason. It is the result of generations that learned survival is built shoulder to shoulder, defending every territory, every cub, and every breath of life. In Kruger, a pack does not merely occupy space, it commands presence. Yet even the most powerful groups know that nothing lasts forever. Today they dominate, tomorrow they may fall. That is the silent lesson of these lands. Collective strength can tip the balance, but nature never guarantees victory. Each dawn brings a new challenge, and every step forward is a wager against the inevitable. In the vast expanse of the African savanna, every sunrise marks a test of survival. This open, unforgiving landscape offers no shelter, serving as a stage for silent struggles where predators wait patiently, ever watchful for the slightest sign of vulnerability. The youngest members of the ecosystem are the most at risk. Birth is not just the start of life, it is a signal in the wild. For a mother, it embodies hope, continuity, and the promise of the future. For the predators hidden in the tall grasses, it is an irresistible call of hunger. In this harsh world, life and death walk side by side from the very first breath. Every newborn taking its first steps faces a merciless fate. One misstep can attract a lethal gaze. The savannah offers no lessons. Only a stark choice: adapt quickly or vanish. And so begins the toughest challenge of all, safeguarding new life in a realm where survival is a relentless test of endurance. In the final days of the dry season in Botswana, the plains come alive with a spectacle of stripes and movement. The black and white patterns of the plain zebra break any sense of uniformity. Each individual is unique, a living masterpiece, marked by nature with a signature that will never repeat. Yet in this wild world, beauty often comes with a hidden cost. From the cover of the scrub, amber eyes lock onto the zebra. Its bright mane makes it impossible to hide, and the weight of survival presses down. To satisfy the nearly 45 kilograms of meat required by the rulers of the savannah, these striped queens risk their lives day after day, dancing with fate. A lioness prepares for a duel of cunning, moving in absolute silence. Beneath her thick paw pads lie claws up to 8 centimeters long. Aware that her stamina allows only a brief sprint of about 100 meters. She waits patiently. A single lapse in attention is all it takes for the golden shadow to strike like a lightning bolt. Sometimes, however, the unexpected intervenes. A powerful kick, with nearly 1,000 kilograms of force, can shatter the jaw of any would-be predator. Here, in the kingdom of wild blood, fear transforms into a reckless courage. The lion does not always claim an easy prize. Sometimes it tastes its own misstep in a tense, silent struggle. When the rains arrive, the landscape transforms into a mosaic of green grass and reddish territory marks. On these fertile plains, a dominant stallion, weighing up to 500 kilograms, rules his harem of 2 to 6 mares. Lone males seeking control must challenge the reigning leader, a ruthless test that decides who will claim the throne and who will fall behind. Zebra mares fulfill their most sacred duty. The foals walking beside them may have been born only hours earlier. But this moment of joy can vanish in an instant. When power changes hands, the new stallion may bring with him an ancient instinct infanticide. This brutal behavior pushes mothers back into estrus quickly. Yet a devoted zebra does not surrender without a fight. A powerful symphony arises, maternal love confronting the relentless laws of evolution. As Rudyard Kipling once wrote, God could not be everywhere, and therefore he made mothers. Not every mother can withstand the harshness of nature while defending fragile new life. Still, the savanna allows no time for mourning. With the arrival of the rains, a new journey begins. The herd must reach the mineral-rich pastures of Inchapan, guided by invisible paths forged over millennia where survival awaits. As the herd moves, thousands of stripes blend into a chaotic illusion. Life becomes a visual maze, confusing predators and acting as a living armor. Like the Mara River during the Serengeti migration, the Boteti River tests this striped army in Botswana. Danger, however, does not wait for the river to appear. Silent shadows emerge from the bushes long before nightfall. Leopards, with explosive speed up to 58 kilometers per hour and extraordinary strength, rely on stealth and precision against them. Even the fastest escape may prove insufficient. A mother zebra may fend off a minor threat, but she is powerless against a determined predator. This is the raw truth of the wild beauty these warriors carry. And when the water level rises, the challenge grows even heavier. is no longer a single predator. Dozens of ancient hunters lurk beneath the river's surface. With a bite force reaching 22,000 newtons, they become the ultimate arbiters of fate. Some foals survive this perilous rite. Others, tragically, are caught in ruthless jaws as the current carries the river onward. In this primeval land, loss is but a faint line in the grand story of survival. Elsewhere, a quiet journey begins in the shadows of the caves. Far from the scorching sun and deep underground, an unforgiving system operates without pause. Here, destiny is shaped under the absolute rule of queens with unyielding will. In a world where strict hierarchy is the only law, welcome to the realm of the spotted hyena, a society governed by a rigid matriarchy. Unlike many predators whose young arrive blind and helpless, hyena cubs emerge fully prepared for the challenges ahead. They are born with eyes wide open, sharp teeth, and an instinct for survival so intense it sends shivers through the savannah. Yet this gift comes at a cost. From the very first moment, it is tested in a brutal rite siblicide. Here, siblings clash in a merciless struggle for dominance. Even when maternal milk flows abundantly, it is never enough to satisfy the hunger for life. The strongest conspire to block weaker siblings from access to the warmth and nourishment of their origin. This struggle over food becomes the first lesson in power, enforced by the relentless discipline of the clan. By 3 months of age, the den opens to reveal a world that demands more than courage. It demands cold calculation. as the rains recede from the plains, but the era of maternal care ends, giving way to the metallic taste of the hunt. Predator instincts awaken fully, and powerful jaws are shaped and trained to crush bones in the challenges to come. Far from being mere scavengers, spotted hyenas obtain over 60% of their food through active hunting. It is through these hunts that mothers ensure the survival of their lineage. The savanna waits patiently as these hunters reach maturity. Under the dim light of the dry season moon, the hunt becomes a dark, precise choreography, ruthless and unyielding. This period is the hyena's favorite season. Unlike cheetahs, they do not rely on extreme speed. Their strategy is endurance. Slowly but inevitably, weaknesses emerge in even the largest prey formations. Yet, even the stealthiest hunters often fail when faced with an unbreakable fortress. Meanwhile, in another corner of the savanna, the sacred bond between the African elephant mother and her herd reveals the true source of strength. As dawn breaks and the hunt subsides, the night leaves lessons etched in the bodies of young predators. In this wild realm, their claws and teeth are mere tools. Genuine power lies in coordination, intelligence, and unity. Meanwhile, on the other side of the continent, the Serengeti witnesses a race without a finish line. In just 3 weeks, nearly 500,000 wildebeest calves are born. Each newborn has less than 4 minutes to master the art of running, covering distances equivalent to 2 consecutive marathons just to maintain their fragile breath. Enter the spotted hyena. Much like in their attacks on elephants, they move in coordinated formations, like threads of a lethal net. Even before the amniotic fluid has dried in the sun, chaos erupts. With jaws built for brutal force, the predator gives the newborn no time to discover the world. Every mother giving birth on these plains is a hero in her own right. Yet the harshest face of the Serengeti is still to come. Only 1 in 10 wildebeest calves will reach adulthood. Still, maternal sacrifice fuels the relentless cycle of life. The blood spilled today drives a herd of over 1 million to continue its epic journey thousands of kilometers north. A feast suspended between survival and loss unfolds. The ultimate sprinter of the past 10 million years waits in the shadows, the cheetah, a living masterpiece of aerodynamics. Its spine is a coil of living spring, and its non-retractable claws dig into the earth like spikes on racing shoes. In barely 3 seconds, it can reach speeds of 100 kilometers per hour, outpacing many modern sports cars. In just 3 powerful strides, the golden blur closes the distance with overwhelming velocity. But in that suspended moment between life and death, a greater force emerges: maternal instinct, faster than light itself, buying vital seconds for the calf to escape. Nature never spares its trials when shaping the courage of those who deserve it. Along this endless journey, the threat sometimes takes the form of a sheer drop. The mother wildebeest leaps into the void, a desperate dance between life and surrender, refusing to accept a fate imposed by circumstance. In that instant, she becomes both guide and mirror. The calf follows instinctively, propelled by pure faith. With fragile bones, the impact is a gamble against pain and injury. Yet running toward the horizon, toward the song of life that still calls, is the true, sacred mandate. Believe it or not, this vast savanna remains a paradise when compared to many other corners of this untamed continent. Under the harsh dominion of the Kalahari Desert, silence becomes the deadliest weapon before the storm of speed erupts. For the cheetah, the challenge is extreme. It has barely 20 seconds of unleashed fury before its body reaches a thermal limit it cannot endure. Faced with the chase, the oryx true desert warriors do not flee. Instead, they confront danger head-on. Thanks to an extraordinary vascular system that cools their brains, they keep their minds sharp even on the fragile boundary between life and death. Their horns, reaching up to 1.2 meters, become relentless spears. To the predator's eyes, the prey is no longer vulnerable. It transforms into a living wall of steel and spines. Even the cheetah's ferocious speed must yield to maternal courage and the collective resilience of the herd. Is the anthem of supreme bravery sung among the burning sands any less worthy than that echoed across the vast savannas? Even the youngest princes pay a steep price when challenging the oryx. For inexperienced lions, this is not a battle of sheer strength, but a hard lesson in patience, survival, and endurance. The same weapon that halts the cheetah rises as a firm, imposing sword. Science recognizes it as an exceptional defense, a living fortress capable of shattering the resolve of novice predators. It can break wills. Yes, but lions with royal blood in their veins will learn in time. They will grow, they will wait, and they will bide their moment to claim a crown worthy of their strength. Lions young, crownless rulers of the relentless desert. Just look to the sands of Namibia, where endless pale dunes stretch like an ocean, and death seems to dance with the wind. Yet this is a sanctuary for the toughest souls, a realm rising over sandy hills bordering wild, uninhabited coasts. Survival here demands that a sovereign push its body beyond all limits. Amid waves of scorching heat and swarms of relentless insects, these giants seek refuge in the highest branches. It is a perilous gamble with such weight. A single fall can become a fatal sentence. Beneath thick shadows, the hunter's instinct softens into pure tenderness. Cubs just days old appear like morning dew. Eyes still closed, fur mottled like plum blossoms shimmers in the dappled light, blending seamlessly into the vegetation and hiding them from hostile eyes. In that instant, their entire universe exists in the warmth of mother's milk and the protective breath of their guardian. But the throne is never a peaceful refuge. Nomadic shadows prowl ceaselessly, waiting for any sign of weakness. When power changes hands, tragedy often follows a cruel inheritance written in blood. Much like when a dominant zebra male eliminates the offspring of his predecessor. Every mother becomes a living wall, though often that sacrifice is not enough. Even if a cub escapes the threat of an intruder, life can still hang by a thread in murky waters. The Nile crocodile, an ancient killer carved by time, spares no one who steps into its domain, not even the fiercest. Its hunger lies hidden beneath the current, patient, waiting for the smallest mistake. By the 5th month, curiosity becomes the first school of survival. Small birds are the initial lessons. Yet until instinct becomes skill, no prey is guaranteed. Only fledgling hunters wander among dust and shadows, still learning. Nature, however, rewards every attempt. The mother's strategies are successfully passed to the heir of the throne. From the earliest days, genetics begins shaping the future. Biological studies show that young lionesses join group hunts early, learning through observation and practice. Young males, meanwhile, focus on building strength and confrontation skills, often competing over carcasses. Every experience forms part of their preparation for the responsibilities they will one day bear within the pride. As the lioness grows, maternal training becomes more demanding. There are no easy prey. She stages true life and death exercises to forge courage worthy of royalty, guiding her cubs in silence, requiring absolute attention and precise cooperation. Yet youthful blood is impatient. A single moment of carelessness can turn a perfect plan to dust. Science shows that trial and error are essential for cubs to learn when and how to act. But one truth remains: neither nature nor their parents are ready to hand over the crown. Failure against a wildebeest teaches the young lioness a harsh lesson, forcing her to rethink her strategy and target prey suited to her learning stage. This time, it is the unforgiving environment itself that opens an unexpected opportunity. While the predator tastes satisfaction, the mother zebra is trapped in desperation, unable to risk herself. In this savanna, an ending is not a farewell, but the lifeblood sustaining another life. When the sun sets, one chapter closes only to give way to a new dawn of endless pursuits. Unlike many African species that seek refuge from the midday sun, the warthog remains active even during the hottest hours. It spends 60 to 70% of its daylight searching for food, with two distinct peaks at dawn and late afternoon. Pregnant females or mothers caring for young often extend these feeding periods to meet higher energy demands, especially when nutritious forage is scarce. With curved tusks resembling sickles and a low, compact body, the warthog can dig deep burrows, which serve as shelter during the night. Its tusks also provide an effective line of defense against potential threats. During the dry season, when green grass becomes almost non-existent, it adopts a characteristic posture, kneeling to feed. This stance conserves energy and makes it easier to reach roots, tubers, and dry shoots at the base of acacias and shrubs. Warthogs will also scavenge carrion and occasionally hunt insects or small animals when their usual food is limited. Though not imposing in size or strength compared to large predators, they are far from defenseless. Adults can charge with their sharp tusks, reach speeds of up to 45 km/h, and use their intimate knowledge of the terrain to escape danger. Females protecting their young will sometimes take the initiative, confronting even medium-sized predators such as jackals to ensure their offspring survive. In the same region, another resident has chosen a completely different survival strategy: the cheetahs monkey. Unlike many species, it neither hides nor digs shelters. Instead, it moves across the open grasslands at remarkable speed. The cheetahs monkey is the fastest primate in the world, capable of reaching up to 55 km/h when fleeing a predator nearly twice the speed of other African primates. Its lean body, long hind limbs, and thin tail almost as long as its body allow it to maintain perfect balance during high-speed chases. Its reddish-brown back, pale face, and dark eye markings almost like natural spectacles make it easily recognizable even from a distance. Potus monkeys live in small groups, usually led by a single dominant male. They are diurnal, constantly on the move in search of seeds, insects, and the few fruits that survive the dry season. During droughts, the group travels between scattered trees and semi-permanent water sources, covering more than 8 kilometers a day. Not every species relies on speed and mobility, but in these open plains, this strategy often means the difference between life and death. In the same region, Buffon's cob has adopted a very different approach to survival. It gathers in large herds to endure the harshest droughts. This subspecies of the genus Cobus is widely distributed across Central Africa and the Sahel, areas now marked by parched grasslands and red dust blanketing the lowlands. Unlike many herbivores that seek shelter or scatter during critical periods, Buffon's cob relies on strength in numbers. Herds can swell to hundreds of individuals, asserting a commanding presence across the plains. Each group maintains a clear social structure, typically divided into 3 categories: females with calves, solitary adult males, and bands of young males who practice territorial behaviors. As the dry season reaches its peak and the rains are still absent, dominant males begin establishing breeding territories. Armed with curved, scythe-like horns, they engage in physical contest to control the central patches of grass that remain. These spots become magnets for females, who forage amid an increasingly scarce landscape. GPS tracking data from 2025 shows that males defend territories ranging from 0.8 to 1.5 square kilometers, holding them for 2 to 3 weeks during the height of the breeding season. During this time, scent marking and vocal displays intended to attract mates double compared to the rainy season. When it comes to predators, Buffon's cob relies on a simple but highly effective rule: detect danger early and react swiftly. Collective vigilance, amplified by the size of the herd, becomes their most potent defense in a world where one misstep can be fatal. Across these endless plains, birth is never just a beginning, it is a signal that echoes through the wild. For the mother, each newborn embodies hope, the promise of the future, and the continuity of life. For predators watching from afar, it rings as the unmistakable call of hunger. Protecting the young here demands constant vigilance, quick decisions, and a quiet courage. Every first step challenges fate, and a single moment of carelessness can be irreversible. The savannah spares no weakness, yet it honors the strength of those who fight to preserve life. As the sun sinks over the golden grasses, one truth becomes clear in the wild. Life emerges surrounded by danger, but also by an extraordinary will to survive. across the immense plains of South Sudan, where the horizon stretches endlessly and the land carries the weight of ancient history in every crack of dry earth, one of Africa's most powerful natural dramas unfolds. This is a realm where survival is earned through speed, awareness, and resolve, a wild stage where every creature must struggle relentlessly to secure its place in the days ahead. Here, beneath a relentless sun and open skies, predators refine their tactics while prey sharpen their senses, knowing that a single misjudgment can mean the end. The savannas of South Sudan offer no refuge. Hunger, thirst, rivalry, and sudden encounters are not exceptions, but part of daily existence in this unforgiving landscape. Yet within this constant struggle lies an extraordinary natural phenomenon. South Sudan hosts one of the largest wildlife migrations on the African continent. Each year, millions of animals move across these plains, forming living currents that flow in search of grass, water, and the promise of survival. It is a journey that shapes destinies, testing endurance, separating the resilient from the vulnerable, and adding new chapters to nature's never-ending story of life in motion. At the heart of this expedition lie two remarkable landscapes. Little known beyond the scientific world, Boma National Park and Bandingilo National Park. Within these remote regions, more than 1 million wild animals move together along a shared natural corridor, forming an unbroken flow that has continued for generations. Among them stands an extraordinary sight: the vast herds of white-eared kob, numbering over 700,000 individuals, representing one of the largest gatherings of antelope anywhere on Earth. Unlike migrations governed by strict seasonal calendars, the Great Nile migration follows a far more fluid rhythm. Its timing is shaped by rainfall patterns and the rise and fall of the White Nile. When the first rains arrive, the river spills across the lowlands, flooding the southern plains and transforming the landscape into a vast reflective expanse where sky and earth seem to merge. As the waters recede, a fresh layer of tender grass emerges, soft, nutrient-rich, and irresistible, drawing the antelope back once more in search of nourishment. The herds move southeastward toward one of the last remaining frontiers of untouched grassland. This ancient savanna stretches unbroken by human development, a rare wilderness where natural processes still dominate. spanning nearly 40,000 square kilometers. It remains free of fences, paved roads, and the noise of the modern world, a sanctuary where nature continues to set the rules. While the Serengeti migration has become a global symbol of wildlife tourism, captured from every possible angle, the journey of the white-eared kob in South Sudan remains largely unseen. In a region increasingly vulnerable to climate change, the South Sudan grasslands endure as a living ecosystem, sustained by the delicate balance of the White Nile, a vast, life-giving artery that governs growth, movement, and survival for every species that depends upon it. The warm sun of South Sudan drapes itself gently over the tall grasses of the savanna. Every sense of the impala mother is fully engaged. Her body is taut with awareness. Ears pivot like finely tuned receivers, capturing the faintest sound, while flared nostrils read the invisible signals carried on the wind. At her side, a newborn calf takes its first uncertain steps into an unfamiliar world. The young impala's coat still glistens with the trace of birth. For now, its mother's presence is everything: shelter, warmth, and reassurance within an immense and unpredictable landscape. Patiently, the mother remains still, allowing her calf to learn the feel of the earth beneath unsteady legs. Within days, those fragile limbs will grow stronger, preparing the calf for its first burst of speed. But today, danger lies close. Hidden among scattered shrubs, a lioness waits, motionless, her gaze fixed on the smallest movement of the young impala. The predator's body is coiled like a spring. Every muscle is poised, the world narrowing to a single point of focus. At that critical moment, the impala mother makes a deliberate choice. She darts away in the opposite direction, drawing attention to herself and becoming the distraction. The risk is total, a calculated sacrifice made to shield her vulnerable offspring. For the briefest instant, The lioness shifts her focus. That moment is enough. The calf remains unharmed, untouched by the threat. For it, the hunt ends before it truly begins. Life carries on, even as the predator's eyes sweep the horizon once more, searching for another chance. Her own cubs are waiting, and hunger will soon drive her forward again. From the heart of the wetlands, home to more than 1 million migratory animals moving in rhythm with the seasons, an absence can be felt. One of Africa's most agile and highly coordinated predators is missing, the African wild dog. Its disappearance has left a profound gap in the balance of the ecosystem. In the past, these packs once moved freely through mud and reed beds taller than a human, carrying out group hunts with remarkable precision. Their success was the result of a biology refined over millions of years. Measuring between 1 and 1.5 meters in length and weighing just 18 to 36 kilograms. They are smaller than lions and more lightly built than leopards. Yet their muscular structure, especially in the shoulders and hind legs, makes them extraordinary athletes, built for endurance rather than brute strength. Their long limbs, supported by strong joints, are designed not for leaping but for covering vast distances. A flexible spine, efficient lungs, a powerful heart, and a deep chest allow them to sustain speeds of up to 48 kilometers per hour for several minutes at a time. They lack the crushing bite or sharp claws of big cats, but their evenly spaced, razor-like teeth are perfectly suited for tearing flesh quickly. Large ears serve a dual purpose, releasing excess heat and acting as sensitive receivers, picking up signals from pack members even in dense vegetation. Every hunt is a demonstration of cooperation and stamina. African wild dogs target the young, the old, or the weakened within herds of impala, cob, or gazelle. Rather than overpowering prey, they rely on relentless pursuit. Each member plays a role. Leaders steer the chase. Others cut off escape routes, and the strongest close in from behind until the prey can no longer continue. This method, known as exhaustion hunting, depends entirely on teamwork and persistence. Under the intense sun, after the initial sprint where the prey runs at full speed, fatigue begins to take hold. Breathing becomes labored, movement slows. That is when the pack moves in, delivering coordinated bites to bring the chase to an end. From the first signs of exhaustion to the final moment, the process may last only a few minutes. One of the most remarkable traits of these canids is their collective decision-making. Hunts do not begin until consensus is reached. Researchers have documented a behavior known as a sneezing vote, in which each sneeze signals readiness. Once enough individuals participate, the pack sets off. This system contributes to their exceptional hunting success rate, estimated between 60 and 90%, far higher than that of any large feline in the region. Even feeding reflects their social structure. Pups and weaker members eat first, while adults later regurgitate food for those left behind. Survival here is sustained not by dominance, but by cooperation and discipline. In landscapes shaped by constant movement, wild dogs function like the pendulum of a clock, helping regulate the rhythm of life. Today, however, their future is uncertain. Global wild populations are estimated at only 6,000 to 6,600 individuals a month, with a very small number of mature adults. In the southern wetlands, recovery may already be out of reach. Recent surveys and migration maps show no signs of hunting packs in the upper marshlands. Perhaps this land has grown too quiet for a species that depends on space, communication, and constant motion. Even so, the legacy of the African wild dog remains a powerful testament to survival under extreme conditions. Their disappearance is not only a biological loss, but a quiet warning. When humanity neglects its responsibility to protect the natural world, the delicate harmony between species is broken like a timeless song cut short before its final note. In the regions where the Nile dissolves into a vast maze of endless swamps, and the air hangs heavy with humidity, an ancient giant emerges, the hippopotamus. Massive, rough-skinned, and seemingly forged from the river itself, it carries a primal strength refined over millions of years. Among the world's surviving semi-aquatic mammals, few inspire the same sense of power. Its evolutionary roots trace back to an ancient lineage shared with whales, creatures that once returned from the oceans to walk on land. One branch remained bound to wetlands, giving rise to the modern hippopotamus. Its body still reflects this distant past, a broad, barrel-shaped torso. Short yet incredibly powerful limbs and skin nearly 4 centimeters thick. Lacking true sweat glands, the hippo secretes a reddish fluid that resembles blood but is actually a natural blend of acids. This remarkable substance serves as both a sunblock and an antibacterial defense, protecting the animal from harsh sunlight and infection. A fully grown male can weigh up to 1,600 kilograms and stretch close to 5 meters in length. Its lower tusks, which may grow beyond half a meter, never stop growing and are used solely in combat. Although hippos are not ruminants and lack a specialized fermentation stomach, they can consume more than 40 kilograms of grass in a single night. During the day, they remain almost motionless beneath the water's surface to escape the heat. When night falls, they rise silently and move inland to graze. Hippos live in small social groups known as pods, usually numbering between 5 and 30 individuals. Each lagoon or calm river bend is dominated by a single male. Rather than defending territory itself, he controls access to females. Conflicts between rival males can be brutal, with tusks transforming from warning displays into lethal weapons capable of tearing flesh and crushing bone. Some encounters end in death. Few people realize that this colossal herbivore is not entirely plant-based. Under extreme conditions, hippos have been observed scavenging and even consuming meat, including the remains of their own species. While rare, this behavior reveals the species' capacity to adapt during periods of severe drought or food scarcity. With the arrival of seasonal rains, the river swells, fish populations surge, vegetation bursts into life, and migratory birds fill the skies. Within this cycle, the hippopotamus acts as a silent engineer of the wetlands. Its grazing and waste transport nutrients between grasslands and freshwater systems, rich in phosphorus and nitrogen. Hippo dung fuels microorganisms and algae that form the foundation of aquatic food webs, supporting fish, wading birds, and countless other species. By carving pathways with its immense body, the hippo also creates access to water for antelope, warthogs, and even human communities during the dry season. Despite its crucial ecological role, the hippopotamus now faces increasing pressure. Agricultural expansion, illegal fishing practices, and above all, poaching for its tusks, often used as substitutes for ivory, have pushed the species into a vulnerable state. According to the most recent IUCN assessment in 2024, the hippopotamus is officially classified as vulnerable, with its largest remaining population surviving quietly beneath the surface of the rivers that still protect them. Under the unforgiving sun, hippopotamuses snort and exhale powerful jets of water that rise like living fountains, their deep bellows echoing through the river channel like the engines of massive machines. Yet across the current, something far quieter and far deadlier remains concealed beneath the opaque water. Lurking unseen is the Nile crocodile, a predator that has ruled these waters since time beyond memory. This reptile is a living archive of the river itself, a shadow of deep history once carved into ancient stone as Sobek, the god of water, fertility, and protector of the pharaohs. Its lineage stretches back more than 55 million years. descending directly from reptiles that survived the mass extinction which erased the dinosaurs. Today, the Nile crocodile occupies waterways across 26 African nations. Its strongest populations are found in eastern Africa, from Egypt through South Sudan and into Uganda. In places such as Murchison Falls National Park, where the Nile is forced through a narrow rocky gorge, individuals exceeding 5 meters in length and weighing over 1,000 kilograms have been documented. One of the crocodile's most remarkable adaptations is its mastery of body temperature. When water temperatures rise above 34 degrees Celsius, it retreats into shade or coats itself in wet mud to cool down. When conditions turn cooler, it lies motionless on sunlit banks, absorbing heat like a living stone. Beneath the water's surface, only its eyes and nostrils remain visible small, unblinking points among reeds and roots. Its body becomes almost perfectly still, and its heart rate can slow to fewer than 3 beats per minute. In this state, it can wait for hours, sometimes days, until prey makes a single fatal mistake. The crocodile does not pursue its victims. Instead, it positions itself where animals have no choice but to come close: riverbanks, shrinking rain pools, or swamps that retain moisture during the dry season. When a target moves within 2 meters, the strike is instantaneous. Its jaws unleash one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom, delivering between 3,000 and 5,000 psi, greater than any other land-based predator. The initial strike usually targets the neck or limbs, immobilizing the victim. What follows is even more devastating: the death roll. In a violent spinning motion, the crocodile twists its body with immense force, tearing flesh, snapping bones, and dismantling prey as large as adult antelope or even buffalo. Once submerged, the method shifts to suffocation. After the first bite, the crocodile drags its prey into deep water or holds it beneath the surface until resistance fades. If the animal is too large to consume immediately, the crocodile secures the carcass in a quiet pool, wedged beneath rocks or vegetation. There, natural decomposition softens the flesh, allowing the predator to return and feed over several days. Yet, despite being one of Africa's most formidable hunters, the Nile crocodile shares an unexpected and almost symbolic relationship with a much smaller creature, the Egyptian plover. This striking bird, recognized by its bold black and white plumage, inhabits the great rivers of eastern Africa and the highlands where the Nile begins its long journey north. On rare occasions, observers have witnessed a scene that feels lifted from ancient legend. A crocodile lies motionless along the riverbank, jaws stretched wide, resembling a fallen log split open by time. With remarkable calm, the plover descends, perches along the edge of the massive jaws, and delicately steps inside the reptile's mouth. There, it pecks at scraps of trapped food, parasites, and decaying tissue lodged between the teeth, a natural form of maintenance carried out in an atmosphere of astonishing trust. While science has yet to confirm that this interaction occurs consistently across all regions where both species coexist, many ecologists believe it reflects a subtle form of cooperation rarely acknowledged in the wild. Even between a supreme predator and a fragile bird, an unspoken understanding may exist, proof that nature's balance is built not only on conflict, but occasionally on quiet alliances. There, suspended between open sky and mirrored water, stands the motionless silhouette of the shoebill, an architect of lethal silence, and a striking example of how instinct and evolution converge into a singular form. Despite its common name, the whale-headed stork is not a true stork at all. Modern genetic research reveals that it is more closely related to pelicans than to traditional storks. Towering at nearly 1.5 meters tall, with a wingspan that can exceed 2.5 meters. The shoebill commands attention, yet its most defining feature is its extraordinary bill, broad and heavy, and unmistakable. Measuring roughly 25 centimeters in length and more than 12 centimeters across, and ending in a sharp, hook-like tip, it functions as a precision weapon, capable of ending a hunt in a single decisive strike. The shoebill is a master of patience. It can remain perfectly still for 4 to 5 hours, conserving energy and blending seamlessly into the wetland landscape. When a longfish, catfish, or other prey rises toward the surface, the bird explodes into action. Its massive bill slams downward with remarkable speed and force, often crushing the spine of its victim instantly, an efficient and deadly conclusion to one of nature's quietest hunts. Rather than relying on speed or coordinated chases like many predators, the sitatunga survives through patience and precision. It moves with slow, deliberate steps across soft mud, where every blade of grass and gentle ripple of water becomes a silent ally. The flooded wetlands themselves serve as natural camouflage, shielding this elusive antelope and allowing it to exist quietly yet confidently. Its long, wide hooves, reaching up to 18 centimeters in length, are perfectly adapted to spread its weight, preventing it from sinking into waterlogged ground. Adult males stand between 81 and 100 centimeters at the shoulder, with a body length of up to 160 centimeters and a weight ranging from 76 to 90 kilograms. Females are noticeably smaller, measuring around 70 to 80 centimeters in height and weighing between 24 and 45 kilograms. Their coats are a rich, deep brown that darkens with age, marked by pale white stripes that shimmer like reflections dancing across the dark surface of swamp water. The sitatunga feeds on a remarkably varied diet, consuming more than 40 species of plants. Tender grasses, fresh shoots, and aquatic vegetation such as cattails and sedges form the core of its nutrition, helping maintain balance within wetland ecosystems. Yet despite its specialization, the sitatunga remains an integral part of the food chain, falling prey to lions, leopards, crocodiles, and African wild dogs. When danger approaches, its response is not a frantic escape. Instead, the sitatunga slips soundlessly into the water. Only its nostrils and eyes remain above the surface like two small pearls floating in the swamp before it vanishes completely into the wetlands, leaving no trace behind. While the savanna of South Sudan still bears the invisible signatures of predators below, the sky suddenly fills with a sharp, unmistakable sound. It is neither thunder nor wind, but a clear, ringing cry that cuts through the humid air of the wetlands, the call of the African fish eagle. Powerful, resonant, and unmistakable. This voice has become one of the most iconic sounds of the African wilderness, announcing its presence long before the bird itself is seen. With a wingspan that can stretch up to 2.4 meters, a body length of 63 to 75 centimeters, and a weight ranging from 2 to 4.4 kilograms, the African fish eagle needs no extravagant plumage to command respect. Its mere silhouette is enough to draw attention across the landscape. A bright white head and chest form a striking crown against the deep brown of its wings and body, blending seamlessly with riverbanks and marsh vegetation. Beneath this regal appearance, piercing yellow eyes remain fixed on the water below, scanning for the slightest movement. Perched high on overhanging branches or resting on exposed river islands, the fish eagle waits in absolute stillness. The moment a disturbance ripples across the surface, it launches into a swift, controlled dive. Its range extends across nearly all of Africa wherever open water exists. The fish eagle is rarely far away. Though it does not undertake long migrations, it adjusts its position with the seasons, shifting toward river centers during floods and returning to the shallows as water levels recede and prey becomes more accessible. Its hunting technique is a balance of patience and explosive precision. Armed with powerful curved talons, the eagle can lift fish weighing up to 4.2 kilograms straight from the water. If the catch proves too heavy, it paddles toward shore with strong wing beats, refusing to release its prize. While fish make up the bulk of its diet, it also takes frogs, turtles, small birds, and carrion. Opportunistic by nature, it will not hesitate to steal prey from other birds, including marabou storks or shoebills, when the chance arises. Beyond its ecological role, the African fish eagle holds deep cultural significance, featured on the national coat of arms of South Sudan. It symbolizes freedom, resilience, and the untamed spirit of Africa itself. In its cry echoes the enduring power of wild landscapes unbroken, watchful, and alive. Silently, another bird arrives. The marabou stork appears only after the heavy footsteps of elephants have faded and the echo of the fish eagle's call has dissolved into stillness. It comes not as a hunter, but as a quiet specialist ready to assume a role that is far from glamorous, yet absolutely essential to life on the savannah. Standing up to 1.5 meters tall, With a wingspan approaching 2.6 meters and weighing around 9 kilograms, the marabou often appears alone like a solitary statue rising from dry grasslands or lingering at the edges of flooded marshes. Its bare head and neck, deep-set dark eyes, and the large pendulous pouch hanging from its throat give it an unsettling, almost prehistoric presence. This appearance is no accident. The marabou stork is perfectly adapted for a task few creatures are equipped to perform: processing death. It does not chase prey or launch ambushes. Instead, it watches from above, waiting patiently until a white-eared cob, a tiang, or a reedbuck collapses after the strain of migration. With its long, razor-sharp bill, it tears through flesh efficiently, while its exceptional resistance to bacteria allows it to consume carcasses in advanced stages of decay remains that most scavengers could not endure. In flooded wetlands, marabou storks often move in small groups of 5 to 30 individuals, tracking the great movements of wildlife. They gather in shallow waters where receding floods trap remains left behind by the migration. These sites become feeding hubs, where a single carcass can sustain an entire group for days. Unlike vultures, marabous rarely fight or compete aggressively. They move quietly among the remains, taking what others leave behind. When carrion is scarce, their flexible diet allows them to survive by hunting small fish, frogs, lizards, young snakes, and insects, an adaptability that ensures survival even during lean seasons. During the dry months, when temperatures soar, the marabou relies on a cooling mechanism known as urohydrosis. By releasing liquid waste onto its legs, it cools its body through evaporation, much like water poured onto hot stone. It also limits its activity to dawn and dusk, avoiding the intense heat of midday. In flight, the marabou stork rides rising thermal currents above the wetlands, gliding vast distances without a single wing beat. This energy-efficient travel expands its reach across the landscape. Though its appearance may inspire unease, the marabou fulfills a critical ecological role, reducing the spread of disease by clearing animal remains. In doing so, it serves as the wetland's natural sanitation force, quietly maintaining balance where life and death inevitably meet. As the final rays of sunlight fade across the plains of South Sudan, the savanna appears to settle into rest. But here, the struggle never truly ends. Every species, large or small, has fought through another day against hunger, drought, predators, and fate itself. Each breath taken, each step earned, stands as proof of a natural world locked in a constant contest with itself, brutal, yet undeniably beautiful. South Sudan is more than a wilderness. It is a living testament to the most fundamental instinct on earth, the will to endure. The vast migrations that sweep across these lands, the ingenious strategies used to evade death, and the fierce confrontations that decide who survives and who falls, all form part of an ancient cycle, one that has shaped life in Africa long before human memory began. Yet within this raw grandeur lies a growing responsibility. Climate change, habitat degradation, and expanding human pressure now threaten a balance that is as fragile as it is sacred. In response, conservation efforts across South Sudan and the wider continent strive to protect wildlife, restore ecosystems, and ensure that this timeless dance of life continues for generations to come. Because safeguarding wild animals is about more than protecting species. It is about preserving culture, history, biodiversity, and the very soul of our planet. May this journey serve as a reminder that nature is not merely a spectacle, it is a legacy, and caring for it may be the greatest expression of our humanity. If this journey into the heart of South Sudan's savannah moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support allows us to keep exploring and sharing the wildest landscapes and the most powerful stories from the animal kingdom.